Okay, so we'll try to make this as realistic and as practical as possible, so that everyone can understand how they can save better and the right ideas they can invest in. So my first question to you, Mr. Ugo, what are the savings and investment opportunities that exist in the financial institution that you think people should know about? Because most people just know about regular savings and current accounts, fixed deposits. So what are other savings and investment opportunities that exist in the financial institutions that you feel we all should know about?
Okay, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
First of all, we need to understand what is savings and what is investment. Why do we have to save? And why do we have to invest? Somebody defined saving as income not spent or deferred consumption. Sometimes when I have a project, how be it small, that I need to execute, it might be as small as trying to buy myself a new jacket. And I look at all the plans, all the things that I have lined up. I can decide to skip a meal, because working on the island, the minimum, if you have to eat 2 times in the office, the minimum you can spend is about 3,000. So if I decide to 3,000 a day, if I decide to skip breakfast and save 1,000 to 1,500, and then I do it for that whole month, I've been able to save money for the thing that I want to buy. So, like the person says, that saving is income not spent. So that particular income that I've made for that month, I've been able to not deny myself, but I've been able to, help myself save that part in order to achieve that objective. Okay, so, and also, the Bible also says that the plans of the diligent brings profit. So, coming to your question, there are so many areas and opportunities that are open for one to save and invest. You can save in a fixed deposit. You can save in government bonds. You can save under your pillow. You can save by reducing expenses. You decide, okay, this month there are some recurring expenses that I will have to cut off, and then by so doing, you have saved those. You have saved yourself some money. So, but there are so many other areas we can save. As we go on, we'll discuss some of those things. I don't know if Mentor Solomon wants to add to that.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause if you want to clap.
Praise God. You said it practically. Purpose for saving is so that you have, is what you put aside so that you have money to do something else. Truth is, the objective of money is to be spent. Money is made to be spent. Money is not, the value of money is not in having it. It's in the things that it is able to help you get. So nobody goes to make money for just the purpose of making the money and looking at it. I try to make money to get, for instance, freedom to work when I want to work, or ability to meet needs, particular needs that I have. That's why I work to get money. So the purpose of saving is, sort of denying yourself some of those things that you can get now, so that you can get some of the things that you would need later. I think that's basically a quick and short way to put it.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I heard from all of that is you need to cut down expenses. You need to check yourself, look at how you spend to cut down some places so that you can save to meet your needs in the future. Okay, so the man that wrote The Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, I was watching one of his interviews, and he said something like, the rich people, they take loans to invest in their business ideas, so they don't use their money. So I want to ask, is it a wise idea, or is it a wise thing to do to take a loan from a bank or anywhere to invest in an idea that you believe in? Of course, the idea might not work out, or it might work out, but you believe in this idea, you've done the business plan and everything. Is it wise to take a loan to start a business or invest in a business? Mentor Solomon.
I have a generally unpopular opinion about this, and that generally unpopular opinion is we don't take credit as much as we should take credit. We don't, because why do banks exist, really? Is the first question that we must ask ourselves. Bank exists to take surplus from society, savings, deposits, and give it to where there's deficit in society, which is loans and credit. So, like Kiyosaki said, and I also read that, he said there are three ways you can raise money to do your business. There's your money from friends, and there's your money, and then there's other people's money. Elon Musk recently bought Twitter. He didn't spend $1 of his money. 1 cent of his current value is not in Twitter. He took out a loan of 20 billion. He bought Twitter for 44 billion, took 20 billion from loans, and staked 24 billion of Tesla stocks. $1 of his money is not there. So, like I said, which is something I will share, we are not taking full advantage of what loans. The problem with loans that we have is that we use loans for the wrong things. That's why loans have bad rep, or bad PR, or whatever I want to call it. But the rich man in society, Dangote is building his refinery. I'm not sure his personal investment, current personal equity contribution, is up to 15 or 20% of the entire value of that project. So yeah, that's something that the rich have hacked. We would also talk about why the poor can't get there yet, but that's something that the rich have hacked. They use other people's money, so yeah. But not to start your business. That's where I draw the line, not to start your business.
Okay, so I want to add to that. There's also a reason why most banks don't finance startups. The only time that you have to borrow money to start a business is that you have an alternative of source of repayment. If you don't have alternative source of repayment, please don't borrow money to start a business. Because anything can happen, uncertainties. I heard this for the first time, that Nigeria can happen to you. And if Nigeria happens to that business, you will live in debt, and that debt can lead to your death. So, if you don't have alternative source of repayment for that loan, please don't borrow money. Otherwise, save. There's a reason why you save. You save not because you want to just put money aside and all that. You save so that you can raise seed capital to start up that business. And if you have to start up that business, no matter how good that business might seem, start little. Then if you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that this business can fetch you this, then you can graduate into borrowing and then expanding that business.
Also, in addition to that, in my organization, we won't give you any loan except you show that you have, if you want $1 million, for instance, you need to show that you have put 200,000 into the business. The reason for that is, and like he said, most people take loans prematurely. I would not advise that you start your business on debt capital, because the thing about debt capital is you do not have room to make mistakes with the business. You are under pressure. The expectations on you, your business now begins to take on unrealistic expectations, and it won't work. So what you would find is, like I said, there are 3 ways where you can get money for investment from savings and from equity contribution. So what I usually would tell people is, don't go to a bank. go to your. My brother does this a lot. So when he wanted to start his logistics business, he came to me and he went to several people, including strangers, people who maybe met online or stuff. I said, okay, give me 100,000 or give me 200,000. I give you XYZ stake in my organization, in the company I'm trying to build. So that's the way, and these tech companies do it. You see a startup and you hear something called seed fund or a venture capitalist. What is happening there is these people are they are raising money for the business. That's not their money. They don't have access to that money, but they don't want to go to the banks yet. Because with the banks, the financing you're going to get from banks comes with its terms and conditions. But equity contribution, what that person is saying is, for the banks, they don't really care whether your business succeeds or fails. They will get their money. They just want to get their monies back, which is why there's conditions and collateral as part of the C's of credit, which we'll talk about later. But with equity contribution, what that person is saying in essence is, I believe in this vision that you have. I trust in this vision that you have. I want to swim or sink with it. So when he gives me money, he's not loaning me that money. He's expecting to get his money back when my business makes money. So what he's doing is he's putting his money where his mouth is, which is why we see, and there are quite a number of them around, but obviously we'll talk about how to position yourself to be able to access those kinds of people. But that's basically it.
Okay.
Get a loan, yes, access the banks, access the credit market, but enter when you are ready.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause. That was powerful. Thank you very much. So I guess my next question, before we get into the requirements for getting a loan, maybe from the Bank of Industry or even commercial banks, if you have to, what business ideas or what investment ideas would you say that somebody with, let's say, 100 or 200,000 naira that doesn't have that much money, but the person wants to invest the little he has so that the money can multiply in the future? What kind of business ideas do you have, given your experience, for that kind of person, or investment ideas really for that kind of person?
Okay, so depending on the amount of money you have or you have saved, that will depend. That will give you the idea of the kind of business venture you go into. So, what if you are talking about having 100, 200,000 naira, you can go into FMCG, consumer products, everyday products that people will always will buy. Not something that will stay with you for 12 months, 2 years, but something that as soon as you buy it, you have off-takers, people that can offload it immediately so that your money comes back, so that you keep your cash cycle very short. Pastor has talked about investing in real estate. There are some real estate that you can even invest as low as 200,000, and then you also make money from that. Some of my friends are into peddling of petroleum products. Most times they don't even use their monies to do that. They have people, you have 200,000 that you're not using, you bring it, they put into the business, and then you share profit. Their own is that they have created some assets like peddling trucks. They have bought those ones for themselves, but the product itself, they collect money from A and B and C, and then make up the money to buy, the capital to buy the product, and they sell it, and then profit is shared. So there are so many other places you can collaborate. And then also very important, you can invest in people, invest in relationships. You understand? There are some people that when you invest in them today, the reward tomorrow, might be so huge.
Thank you very much.
Let me start by saying that if you have small money have realistic expectations about what your small money can bring. I said that to say that some people they have 100,000 and they are looking for, oh, where will I put the money in? And they are expecting 100K to come back immediately. You are very, very likely not to have 100K again. You don't get. If you are looking for your 100K to produce 100K in the shortest possible amount of time, you are very likely not to have that your own 100K initially again. So I like to say have realistic expectations about your saving, and there are plenty of instruments everywhere. Bro Wale will tell you about putting your money in a savings plan, sort of like annuity, where you can put the money, but you get your returns. They keep the money for you in. They hold it for a particular period of number of years, and after that period of time, they can begin to pay you monthly. You know, which is similar to what happens with pensions. There are saving apps that you can put your money in, and they will give you, I think, about 13% per annum, which is fair, better than what banks will give you. Banks will give you on the average of between 3 to 5% per annum on savings deposits. These guys will give you between 8 to 13%. There are those ones that you can put. That's if you don't know what to do with the money. So you can buy federal government bonds. That's a surefire. They are better than stocks, because with stocks, the company's value can either go up or down. So you can buy stocks today at 100K, and tomorrow those stocks will sell for 50 naira. That's very possible. But with government bonds, your earnings are fixed. It does not happen except federal government, except they sell federal government of Nigeria. That's the only time you are not going. Even if they sell federal government of Nigeria, whoever is buying federal government of Nigeria will buy it both its assets and its liabilities. So you have that amount of money that's going to come back to you. Point I'm trying to make is there are different things that you can put those monies into. You can start a small business. Retail is we think that retail is saturated. Retail is not. It's just where you're putting your money is what business, like Borogo said, FMCGs that have a short buy-sell cycle. So don't put your monies, if you want your money to quickly come back, put your money in what can quickly come back. So the person who is selling cars is, the person who is selling granite is more likely to do that, invest, get back quicker than the person who is selling cars. Because obviously what I need to buy granite is very small, and I wouldn't think I can buy granite on impulse. But nobody can buy a car on impulse. Okay, let me say not nobody. It's only 2% of the population that can buy a car on impulse. Nobody buys cars on impulse. I've been saving for like 3 years. Money never completes.
Okay, so before I forget, there's something I always tell people. If you must save money in a bank account, it's money that you don't need immediately, please change it into a foreign exchange, into a foreign currency. Don't go and carry 500,000 and put it in a savings account, even in a fixed deposit. In 2 years' time, that 500,000 will become 350. But if you buy foreign currency, dollar or pounds, in 2 years' time, even if it does not appreciate, your money will still remain. If you buy, say, $1,000 or 1,000 pounds, recently I bought 3,500 pounds. If in the next 1 year, so if you must save, please just buy dollar or pounds and put it in your account.
Thank you.
And to add to that, that's a good thing about technology. There are two apps, two companies. What they do is they help you save your money in dollars, but also they can help you invest in foreign stock. So I have, is it 0.0003 something shares in Twitter, because I took my I think it was $75 at the time. I took $75, I put it in, and the name of those apps, there's Bamboo, and then there's Rise Vest. So what they will do is you tell them, do you want? They give you options. They are the ones that they trade in stocks, and they also trade in real estate, the U.S. real estate market. They give you two options. There's the one that's safe. They'll tell you safe investments, but your earnings are going to be little. So you can get maybe like 1% or 2% on whatever it is that you put. Then there's the one they'll tell you these are high risk stocks. For those ones, you can put $1,000 today and get $2,000 tomorrow. But it's based on, you have to monitor the U.S. Stock market as well to ensure that you are keeping tabs. So there's Rise Vest and there's Bamboo. They would help you save your money if you don't even want to invest the money at all. You just want to keep it on their apps in dollars. With difference to Brogo, I say that because a small challenge with saving money in Nigerian banks, in Forex, in your DOM accounts, a small wahala with it is that if the federal government runs into if there's Forex shortage, they can instruct the banks to give you the value of your savings in Forex, in Naira, at the CBN rate. That's when you want to withdraw it. So, what these guys will do for you is whatever it is that you give them, they will give you back in dollars. Nigerian banks can, based on CBN regulation, give you your money back in Naira if you want to withdraw. They can choose to give you your money in Naira if there is a Forex shortage. And obviously, once there's a Forex shortage, it's for people who want to import, take priority than you that just wants to maybe exchange it and buy market here. So but the thing about these other guys is that they will give you, if you put $500, they'll give you back your $500 in dollars.
Thank you very much. Please, if you have questions, start preparing your questions. And we'll take questions shortly. So I want to ask a question. Let's assume we have a startup business, an entrepreneur who has tested the waters with his business ideas. He has started small. He's seeing progress, he's seeing growth, and he feels like to scale up, he needs more capital, and he's thinking about maybe applying for loans in the Bank of Industry, for example. What are the steps? What are the requirements? How can he go about getting a loan and getting his loan approved so he can move that business to the next level?
Okay. One of the reasons why small businesses don't get finance from banks is because small businesses have not prepared themselves to be appealing to banks. We think that most small businesses think that, I should just go to a bank with my idea, can just talk about my idea is brilliant, and that they don't have a problem with the fact that your idea is brilliant. But they have not prepared themselves in a way to appeal to banks. So what are the things? A bank would look at your history. What's your paperwork showing? Do you have your cash flow statements, for instance? Because you're the one that is saying that your business is doing well. Even if they have your account, you say, I'm your bank, and you can look at my account. But they don't understand how the money goes in and how money comes out, or why money goes in and comes out. They need to understand that. And your cash flow statement is going to tell them that, your financial records. So you need to keep records. As a business, you need to start keeping records. Good thing about it is, and Bro Kenneth can attest to that, there are some firms, they go around. I think one of them worked with my organization for a bit. What they do is accounting for SMEs. So all you just need to do is to keep how money goes in, how money comes out, how do you keep in the bank. They will come take your books that you have kept, crude books that you have kept, and they can help you refine it to proper statements that you can present to banks, because banks need that. 2, you need to keep record of your tax payments, especially for an organization like Bank of Industry created by the government. One of the things that is going to be a focus for that is your tax records. And this, which is what we talked about earlier, that we don't take credit as much as we should. The downside of that is that you don't have a good credit record, a good personal credit record. Your business has not accessed credit before.
So what the banks will require, would look to assess you, is your personal credit record. And if you have not been taking loans before, you think it's a good thing on paper, but it is not, because the bank does not have any track record of you taking loans and paying them back. That's the downside of not taking loans, personal loans. And like you said, don't take personal loans because you want to go and buy a car or you want to do this. Take personal loans for investments, but pay those loans back so that when your business wants to actually access credit, your business does not have any track record before, but you have track record. We can use that to assess you. So keep your records, have a good credit score personally, and then obviously pay your taxes. But one thing about the banks is, for my bank, for small loans that's 10 million and below, you don't have to present collateral. And this is important. I know most people run away from collateral discussions, but truth is, no bank will give you loans without collateral. And collateral does not have to mean bring your car or bring your house. Collateral can also mean your personal goodwill. There's something called social capital. So what we say is, go and bring somebody to stand for you as guarantor. That person should have, in my bank, that person should have a 3% coverage. So meaning that if you want to take a loan of 1 million, you need to bring a guarantor that has a personal net worth, a declared net worth of 3 million. So, which obviously would boil down to how much social capital you have built. Because before somebody will come and say that they're going to stand in for you to collect a loan, you need to have built a rapport with that person, a very, very good rapport. So you need to have that. Invest in those things. But more importantly, keep your records. Ensure that you have your books properly kept. Because that's the first stage. That's how the bank, because in truth, and Borogo corroborates, the bank is not really interested in the collateral. Because for instance, if you give, there are 3 types of collateral. There's bank guarantees. So the bank guarantee is, you have a banker, I'm banking with Borogo, my business is banking with Borogo's bank, and then Borogo I want to collect a loan, so I go to my bankers and say, come and stand for me as guarantor. There's some technicality to that, which obviously is like a loan in itself, but there's bank guarantees. There's legal mortgage, which is when you drop your property. And there's what we call now, for SME loans, the provision just came about in Nigeria. There's moving collateral, which is I can use my car, I can use movable assets. The other, legal mortgage are immovable assets, your land, your house. But I can use movable assets, so my car, TV, personal belongings can also form part of. That's something recent, but it's not really explored so much. Obviously, banks have stopped collecting stock because stock values have gone down. They used to collect stock before as collateral, but they've stopped collecting stock. They take T-bills as collateral. All those ones are called cashback. They are all cash backed because I can easily translate that to cash and collect my monies back. And then there's personal guarantors. So those are the collaterals that you would have to present to access.
In a party on a Saturday, spraying 1,000 naira, 1,000 naira. To me, that is a red flag because your character somewhat is, you are living above your means. We check your financial history, we see that this is how much is in your account, this is what you, what all your net worth is it, and you're spending almost 100,000 in a party, and you want to borrow 3 million. Your character is negating what all other factors that we've considered. So if you want to get a loan, it's not that you want to fake character, but it is very, very important. Your capacity to pay back, and like he said about getting loans sometimes build your credit worthiness. Sometimes if you want to travel abroad, you want to go and school abroad, there are some companies that would actually pay for you. They will pay your school fees, and you're going to pay back single digits, 5% after graduating from that institution. So after graduating, when you get a job and your job is above $120,000 per year, that is when you start paying back. But they will not grant you this if you don't have a credit history before. So if you have never borrowed loan before, they will not even listen to you. So sometimes people do this to build credit history, and when you want to approach anybody, your ability to pay back, forget about collateral, is just one of those things, means of last resort. So your ability to really pay back is very important. Cash flow especially. Once you don't have cash flow, your collateral would be useless to the bank. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. That was great. Do we have any other question? Okay, we have a question here.
All right. Thank you so much. You have really exposed me to a lot of information. So I want to talk about that borrowing loan. Is it you borrow? Is it borrowing from bank, or taking loan from also like finance company, like microfinance? Those companies also count as building your credit worthy or credit history, or must it be only in bank? I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not just bank. Things about the credit bureau is the credit by law. Every financial organization that borrows or that lends or advances credit are required to submit, their transactions and the people that they deal with to regulatory authorities. One of which, licensed by the CBN, is the credit bureau. So the credit bureau would track your borrowings, not just from banks, but also from every financial institution that offers that service. So, for instance, you think that you took money from iCredit, OP, or something like that, and it's not recorded. It is recorded, because LAPO, whatever it is, microfinance banks, they are all registered as financial institutions under the CBN. They will provide those records to the credit bureaus. Yeah. So
before now, a lot of companies, be it deposit money banks or loan sharks or any companies, are doing it manually. But right now, technology has made it in such a way that whatever you do now, it is recorded somewhere. You can even enter Uber and you don't pay. After some time, they will report your name on credit bureau. You want to borrow money, they will flash it that you're owing Uber 1.5, and because of 1.5, they deny you that. So that brings what we talked about, character. It will tarnish your character. So don't think it's because of bank alone. Anywhere, like the only person that will not go and even any individual can go and report your name on credit bureau that you borrowed him, that he borrowed you money and you have refused to pay him. And if you can show evidence that yes, he actually borrowed you money, they will report your name on credit bureau.
And it's taking even increased significance now with the BVN. So with the BVN, there's all your financial, whatever it is that you have to do financially that has to do with banks, is recorded against your BVN. So your BVN stands as what we would call your social security, sort of. It can track all your financial all your financial transactions, and that can stand against you in the future. So as much as possible, keep your record clean, basically.
Yes, you have.
So,
okay.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
So, this question was asked earlier. So I just wanted to ask it again because Pastor is here, and last week he actually spoke in line with that question that you asked earlier. For a young fellow who is just trying to, of course, he's a salary earner and he's trying to do some savings and investment. So I'm asking this: what are the practical ways that you should advise for? Let me give a figure. Let's just say the fellow earns like 150K, and he's trying to, of course, save and then invest. So this question is also open to pastors. So what are the practical ways that you can save money and also invest whatever that you have saved? For instance, you ask a question, if somebody is able to save like let me take it higher, like 200,000 or 300,000. So what are the ways that you can invest that money and get a return?
Okay, I will be biased in my answer, but it's also a practical way, because truth is, what we try to do, most of the people when we get money, we want to set up a business, isn't it? And most of the time when we want to set up the business, we want to set up the traditional business, brick and mortar store, especially for us who want to do retail, want to set up a brick and mortar store, stock it with goods and sell, isn't it? Now, but you see, the internet has changed all that. Now, most people want to take that money and put it in, say, for instance, crypto or forex, which can give you returns, but requires even the most trained, knowledgeable person in crypto or in forex can put that money in and lose it. But if he studies how to do crypto and monetizes that knowledge that he has built, for instance, in creating a course and making it available online for people to buy, he is able to make more money that he can save. So for instance, he takes the 150k that he has saved, spends 75 on a course on crypto or on forex, and then creates a course, a book, a material on it, puts it up on e-platforms. So for instance, Seller or Expertnet, whatever it is, charges a maybe, so for instance, he learned the course for 75,000, then he creates that material, spends maybe about between 50 to 100k to create the material. That's how much is put. That's about 125, isn't it? And then he sells that material, he puts it up on this thing, spends say another 50,000, that's about $100 on Facebook ads for the web page he has created to sell that, and puts maybe like a 5,000 or a 6,000 or 10,000 on that material. He can recoup all of that monies. But he also, after recouping it, as long as that site is live, that material is valid, and he continues to spend a few hundreds of dollars here and there on Facebook ads, he can have a business without quitting his normal business, and he can have extra income at the side. So the internet has made it easier to do that. We have not tapped the resource that is knowledge marketing, information marketing. We have not even started to do it. And some people who did it then, they are still the people doing it now. People like the recently passed Dr. Sonny Ojegbase, who started Success Digest. Success Digest has created many internet millionaires, and they are still creating more. So the point is, what I would tell anybody now is look beyond the brick and mortar. Invest that money, that's your small money, in a skill that can help you make money on the internet. That skill, monetize that skill that knowledge that you have gotten, monetize it. For me, that seems like the easier or fastest route now for a young person, especially to have that head start.
I think I read somewhere also that the best investment is when you invest in your knowledge and invest in yourself. So I don't know, do you have a contribution to that, Mr. Ogo? Okay. So Pastor wants to say something. I know you were looking for Pastor's answer.
Thank you, Solomon. You answered that question right. So you can go the route that he has gone through. So the bottom line of what he just said is the person needs to create another source of income. That's the bottom line. Now, the one he even took is short, but it's even a bit longer than what I will say now. So while you are doing, okay, so let's say this person earns 60,000 per month. Call somebody around. Look for somebody around who you have heard before says they are doing affiliate marketing. How are you doing it? Or take 5,000 and learn affiliate marketing, and then start, set up your own, is it your own website or whatever. One way or the other, you have created an alternative source of income. And if God is with you, and you are praying over it, you are doing all the confession over it, before you know it, people will start buying off that platform. Or agency. We can live here now and somebody can have created an alternative source of income. Brawale here as a client, agency. Okay, so we go and meet Biodo, Alpha, blah blah blah, and then you have somebody abroad, just less than 3,000 naira, what's it called, call to somebody in diaspora. Okay, your pastor, are you sure? Can you come? And then pam. So create another source of income. It's so very important. So this person is putting that aside, maybe just only 6,000 or 8,000 per month that you are putting aside. So you want to take it, you want to look for all the other things you can start doing without putting in money there, or the things you can do with little money. After like 4 months, this 6,000 per month has become 25,000 naira. You can take a course on either the affiliate marketing or whatever things that he has just said. But the bottom line is, don't stay put with only that source of income. Are you still here? And then you create one, and then you create another, and then you create another. I told you one of my goals in this quarter is to create a publishing firm. I want to start publishing my books. Guess what? I'm not the one writing the book. I have like 12 books written now that I didn't write one. 40,000 naira. They just sent me one now on aging gracefully. After sometimes some people will see it, aging gracefully. Of course, my name big and bold on it. Praise God. And I paid only 40,000 naira, and the person who had the time sat down and wrote it, and I would just flip through it, maybe in 2 hours, correct this, and then that's all. And then I have a publishing machine, I'm publishing it. Okay, so create alternative sources of income. Okay, I think that's what I'd like to add to it. Praise the Lord.
Thank you very much. Because of time, we've come to the end of the session. Thank you, Mr. Ogo. Thank you, Mentor Solomon.
Let me just add that we have these conversations on the WhatsApp platform,
yes,
the Friends Connect WhatsApp platform. We have these conversations. So if you are not on the Friends Connect WhatsApp platform, the general WhatsApp platform, please indicate or speak to Clinton, and we'll be happy to add you on, so that the questions that you can't ask here, and very soon we would have, if you would be inviting a few industry experts to engage with people on the platform on some of the questions that you have that can't be answered here. I'm sure it's going to be helpful to everyone.
And on a lighter note, while you're also saving and making plans to invest, also try to put out money, how be it small, aside for you to, because you all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So you work from January to December. You keep saving, investing, saving. So sometimes you also keep money aside so that you can sing "Allow Me to Enjoy Myself."
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause as they go back to their seats. That was powerful.